Hello again, this video is to replace a former video on how human beings can achieve higher levels of energy, more abundant levels of power, that can be done more so than what's currently being demonstrated within a raw food, raw living lifestyle. And I can only express that if you decide to cut this video short, I cannot describe how much you'll be missing out, because I'm going to put in and describe certain information that you'll never come across ever in reference to living foodism, raw foodism, and human potential in general. I'm talking fast because I did this video about 13 times and I need to leave. But essentially the idea is that we look for calories within living food, within raw food, as a source of energy, and you know, this is the main idea. And if you look into the calories is basically a unit of measurement that expresses how much energy is within the food that we're eating, that we're burning. And so it is eating food, burning it, and getting energy, the same as throwing coal or throwing wood within the engine of an old locomotive for it to run and operate. But just as the smoke comes out the top of the locomotive, there is waste product that is created within our bodies that continuously does damage to parts of our bodies that we do not want. This is called oxidation. Oxidation is the same thing as burning something. It's the same thing as burning paper, burning coal, burning wood, and it is essentially you're burning food, but the leftover remnants, waste product, continuously starts to oxidize different parts of our bodies. This causes aging, and this is why they say oxidation is one of the main components to aging, is oxidation. So anything that involves calories involves oxidation. Of course, there's antioxidants, but nevertheless, that's what's there. There is a game of antioxidants and oxidation from just breaking down the food. Now, the second thing is, and I'm not knocking. Obviously, I'm not trying to knock calories, because this is how we generally survive, but I'm just talking about what it is calories are doing to us, and I'm going to propose this other thing that is a little bit above calories. Now, the second thing that it does is it causes aging by eating food in just general. Period. You eat food, you're going to age. There's so many studies that's done on just the topic of life extension, on human longevity, and how scientists are trying to outwit DNA, and raw foodists are trying to outwit the biological clock as well, by introducing all new types of foods and so on and so forth. And these scientists had basically talked about the factors that cause aging, and those factors are basically, you have these things called telomeres. Telomeres are these caps that sit at the end of your chromosomes that determine your how long you live, your life expectancy, your shelf life, your biological clock. These things called telomeres sit at the end of your chromosomes as shoelaces, as the plastic caps sit at the end of your shoelaces. When these things shorten, your life expectancy shortens. Your life shortens, your shelf life shortens. And what determines these things shortening is cellular replication. What determines cellular replication is food. The more you eat, the more that your cells replicate to take on and process the fuel that you're giving it. And this is inevitable. This is something that's always going to be the cause and effect. And it may happen less with less processed food, but nevertheless, it will always happen. The people who actually live, some of the people that live the longest on this planet are known to be the Huns of people, because they eat only a few times a day, very little in the, they eat meat, dairy, fruits, nuts, grains, but they eat very little, and they live long. Not drastically longer, they just live long and healthy. Now, what I'm proposing here is something that's different, and it again is based on a personal experience that happened accidentally as I was experimenting with certain things. And there are a lot of other prerequisites that lead up to this point. Not a lot, but this is a prerequisite that leads up to this point, but I'm getting into the general meat of what I'm talking about here. The phenomena that naturally exists in the body every single day, but that's not really that's not really exaggerated or even being emphasized on via topics or as a subject matter in general is the phenomena, the piezoelectric phenomena. Piezoelectricity is a word that means this. Actually, I'll just read it right here. It is no, the Curie brothers discovered the piezoelectric effect in crystals in 1880. Piezoelectricity literally means pressure electricity, right? It's crystalline arrangements. So you have particular materials, and it's not all materials that can do this, but you have particular materials that have their molecules aligned in a certain way. And when those molecules, right, when you apply stress to the material, the molecules tend to change its shape via pooling or pressure. It changes shape, and when that shape is changed, or that structure is changed, positive and negative poles are created, which generate an electric field. So basically, pressure applied, electric field applied. You could take, for instance, quartz is a piezoelectric material. You can go into a dark room, take a hammer, hit it, bite it, bend it if you can, and you'll see an electric field being generated, or sparks being generated within the structure of the material. Ceramic is also a material that's piezoelectric, and many states governments are trying to see whether or not they want to go with this this energy efficient way of creating piezoelectric roads, which means putting some type of piezoelectric material, whether that's ceramic or another material that I don't know of, underneath the roads, and when cars pass over it, their weight and pressure generates electricity that goes into the grid. Now, the other structure that is piezoelectric is our bodies. Particularly, what I honed in on first was bone. I looked into bone, and bone is a piezoelectric material. Cartilage is piezoelectric material. Cells are piezoelectric, but it's not something that's ever emphasized or discussed or talked about, because it really is not it's not of particular benefit when you are taking a sugar calorie dense type of diet. But anyway, moving on, I looked at bone, and as I looked at the skeleton structure, I saw that the skeletal structure is shaped as an S. It wasn't new to me that I saw this, but as I looked at it, and I saw that the S shape in the structure of the body within the vertebrae, I said, whoa, wait a second. I saw the head sitting on top of that too, head being the heaviest object on the body. I realized that the skeletal frame is a piezoelectric spring, meaning that when you walk or when you run, the head bounces up and down on this spring, causing pressure to the cartilage and to the bone, generating an electric field which travel throughout the nerves to the rest of the body. This is why you have more nerves coming from the bone, just the skeletal structure in general, branching out to different parts of the body. Secondly, there are more nerves coming from joints than any other part of the body, particularly the joints. There's more nerves coming out the hip, the knees, the wrists, the ankles, the elbows, the vertebrae. And when pressure is applied to these joints, electricity is generated for the rest of the body to utilize. So the idea is that when the body becomes super conductive, I'll explain in other videos. It's too much to explain in this one. There's no point actually. But the body, when it becomes super conductive, it reaches a level of energy where it no longer needs to break down or burn fuel for energy, because it already knows, it has a sense of the level of energy that it has. Thus, it needs not to break down anything else to create energy. Just as if a person is completely starving, then the body will break down muscle, fat, or whatever to generate. It'll break down living tissue for energy. And so the body doesn't want to do this. So I'm sure if the body had the opportunity of not breaking down anything, it would do it as well. So the body produces becomes super conductive and literally just transfer energy all over the body via this piezoelectric phenomena that not only just exists within the bones, but also exists on the muscle. I mean, the cells, which is muscle, which is connective tissue, which is all parts of the body. And this can be exaggerated and expounded the more that the body becomes enriched with conductive properties. I'll talk about what those things are later, but I think that's pretty much it. The body can either be a old, ATP fuel burning locomotive that produces all of that smoke as waste, or it can be a gravity defying, magnetic, electrically driven, high-speed Japanese bullet train. And it has these options, and I had the experience of the latter as well as the traditional. And so anyway, that's the video. I hope that you got something out of it. Thanks for watching. I'll try to make it short for you, as you can see. Have a good one. Peace.